Hey, all praise Yahweh Shem Shai. It's the Deacon of Consecrate, another episode of Scriptural Slash and these pseudo apologists, fake Christians, should I call them? So we issued a challenge to all the pseudo Christian apologists to break down Ezekiel, the 4th chapter, verse 4 to 6, the 430-year captivity of both kingdoms, to see if it fits the Jews of today, who they say are Israelites. And we know it's impossible, which is why we issued it. You look at all the commentaries, they don't even have a damn clue what it's talking about because the Bible only reveals his word to Jacob. So, lo and behold, a man jumps off the plantation, the Vocab Malone plantation, and tries to break it down and go into it. Oh, it was horrible, hideous, and screechingly painful to listen to. So everybody, I want you to hear this. Check it out. We're going to debunk this real quick and show you that they have no answers for this. Feast your ears.
The time of the fall of Jerusalem or during the time of the prophet. I'm not sure on that. I had to really look at that and check that out. But Ezekiel as being like this priest to bear the sins of their bear their iniquity will experience this in days, and this will be for a sign unto Israel, right? So it says, so shalt thou bear the iniquity of the house of Israel, and when thou hast accomplished them, lie again. So when he says thou hast accomplished them, lie again on the right side, and thou shalt bear the iniquity of the house of Judah 40 days. So this is really talking about the northern house and the southern house. So I think from Jeroboam, all the way to a certain time.
You see him stuttering. He already really don't know how to read that good. But, I ain't going to diss the brother like he be trying to throw shots at us. But unconsciousness don't know what the hell he's talking about right now. He's stuttering, flipping, fluttering, right? He said, for a certain time. Oh, for a certain time? No. You said starting from King Jeroboam. Everybody remember that. And it's not a certain time. He tells you the time, 390 years. So what the hell are you talking about a certain time? And we know Vocab just sent you so you can get sniped down real quick so he could try to figure out what angle we're going to come. That's why we're only going to debunk this in 2 points, but we got a ton more.
It was iniquity, and those things led away with the northern tribe being trenched about, because this is talking about them being fortified, trenched about, and in the siege basically. And we know when the siege basically took place during that time, and when all of it will be fulfilled during when the last event took place with Jerusalem, the southern tribe being scattered away just as well.
This novice said that starting at Jeroboam in 390 years, the house of Israel, the northern kingdom, will be seized. Let's take a look at this Bible timeline to prove him wrong. King Solomon was born in 990. King Solomon started reigning around 970. All the sources will tell you this. King Solomon was born in 990, and he started to reign in 970-ish, or circa, as they would say. Now, let's see if his math is adding up, right? All the sources, Britannica, Encyclopedia, Jewish Library, Bible Hub, Bible study tools will say King Solomon, born around 990, started to reign in 970-ish. Okay? So, who's his son? Jeroboam. All right? Let's see. Okay, let me grab a couple more sources. It goes on and on and on. So, now, when you get into the starting point of King Jeroboam's reign, is 930. Now, this guy's acting like we weren't sinning prior to Jeroboam. We was wicked as hell. So that whole ideology is just off. But here, let's get into Jeroboam. Everybody keep this in mind. We're going to do some math. 930 is when King Jeroboam came in to power. All right? Mad sources will confirm this. Okay? We're going to show them that this prophecy don't fit the people who they say they're Jews. And there was a prophecy. Now, there's one, maybe out of 20 sources, one source will say Jeroboam reigned in 990, which is off, right? Because his father was born around 990. So that's off. But we'll still entertain that as well, and we'll debunk that. All right? So, Let's now this is the siege of the northern kingdom, which Laron said from the starting point, Jeroboam, 390 years will be the siege of Jerusalem. I'm sorry, the siege of the northern kingdom, which scholars say around 730 to 720. So this is what LeBron G Unconscious is saying, the vocab Malone flunky, that this 390 years in his, first of all, he's breaking them up, the 390 and the 40. They run consecutive, but we're going to debunk his theory anyway. Let's see 390 years from, let's say 990 from that one incorrect source. Take away 390 is 600. That's not the siege of the house of Israel. 915, Salakia. That was wrong. Now let's do 930 when the Bible says Jeroboam run. That's 540. That's not the siege of Israel, man. What the hell are you talking about? So this guy doesn't have the slightest clue. You can go from 990, which is inaccurate, and this 390 years after that, it's still not the siege of the house of Israel, which will be 722. You can go from 930, which is actually the reign of King Jeroboam, and subtract 390 years, and that's still not the siege of the northern kingdom. So he's been debunked already, even though we can go and prove that this is talking about future. Ezekiel's told to prophesy, it'll be a sign. All this, we got so many points. We're just debunking his angle that he's coming, which is what all the commentaries are saying. That's all he did was watch commentaries. So that's why we did this. We already debunked the commentaries. And when you read the commentary, they be like, we don't even know what the hell this is talking about. So let's keep going. Watch this. It gets worse.
So it says, and when thou hast accomplished them, lie again on the right side, and thou shalt bear the iniquity of the house of Judah 40 days. Right? So at that time, 40 years later, Jerusalem will experience a siege and will be scattered off too.
See, your math ain't adding up, man. You can't read and your math ain't adding up either. So, again, 390 years from the time of King Jeroboam would be what did I went to? What 520ish? Anyway, it's not 722. And that's what happens when you go to bat for these Edomites, man. You end up looking stupid and foolish and you end up losing. Then he says 40 years after the siege of the northern kingdom, then the southern kingdom would be sieged. So what's 720ish take away 40? That's 680. So you mean to tell me in 680 the northern 680 circa the southern kingdom was sieged? You sound foolish. The southern kingdom wasn't sieged by Babylon until about 586 circa. All right? So this is what happens, man. Let's keep going.
It says, lie thou also upon thy left side, and lay the iniquity of the house of Israel upon it, right? According to the number of the days that thou should lie upon it, thou should bear their iniquity, for I have laid upon thee the years of their iniquity. So we see he have laid upon thee the years of their iniquity, right? So when we look at it, the years of Israel's iniquity actually starts with Joe, Joe, what's his name? Jerubim, Jerubim.
See, he's asserting and inferring that bearing your iniquity means that's the time that you're living in sin and adding sin on your account. That's a lie. There's precepts, and when you look at the Hebrew, that this is the time where they'll be paying for their sins, not committing sins. That's retarded.
So just understand that Jerubim from these years started a rebellion in Israel that was off the chain. You know what I'm saying? And those sins they have been sinning. So it says this should be a sign of standing as a priest, bearing the iniquity of these people of the amount of days, right, or a certain amount of days that would be foreshadowed as years, 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 because literally the years Israel spent in iniquity, starting with Jeroboam, was a lot until they was actually besieged and scattered away, and then later on Jerusalem was besieged and scattered and destroyed just as well. So he says, "For I have laid upon thee the years of their iniquity." So this is the years of their iniquity, but instead, um, Ezekiel is experiencing these things in
So as
day.
you can see, these nuts don't know what the hell they're talking about. The people who say they're Jews, who they believe are Jews, are not. They don't fit this prophecy at all. Even if you gave Jeroboam 990, it's still coming out to 600. The siege happened in 722. It's just not adding up. What he really reigned at in 930, 390 years later, it's 540. It's not adding up to when the house of Israel should have been besieged. So these guys don't know the scripture. They don't have any awareness of biblical timeline. Just like Faithful to God, when he said Artaxerxes was reigning during the time of Esther. Just horrible, unscholastic, no scholarship. Um, they just need to hang it up, man, and shut their YouTube pages down. We gave them a chance to try to go into this. We said we was gonna pack up our bags, convert to Christianity, take down our YouTube page. If they could show us that this prophecy happened or pertains to the people today. Did it happen after Ezekiel? They said it happened before, which that was wrong. Everything is just disgusting about the way that he tried to go in there and break it down for his slave master. So again, you guys still have yet to prove this. I'm going to keep this challenge open. The 430-year captivity is not to be separated from the 390 and the 40. It's to run consecutive as he told Ezekiel. And it's a prophecy. I'll give you guys a hint. It's a prophecy that happened after the time of Ezekiel, not before. Don't start at Jeroboam or it's not going to work. It's a prophecy, and it's a time when we will be being punished for our iniquity. It says bands will be laid on us, captivity. All right, so go into the Bible, go into history, and show me when this happened to them people that you guys call the Jews over in Israel today. All right, one of you pseudo apologists, all of you, somebody call your daddy James White. Vocab don't got it. That's why he sent LaRon. LaRon, message. Stop going to war for your oppressor, man. He left you out here to get caught up, and now you're looking foolish. See you soon. Shalom.